Thank you to the Heiser family. What a legacy he's left. Also passed last month is Resolution P44517. This is a resolution honoring William Gaylord as Rensselaer County Citizen of the Month. And a short story about that. We're going to a collaborative effort between the legislature and the executive branch. I don't know why we haven't started this before now in Rensselaer County. There's other counties around us that have Citizens of the Month. But we're going to start this now. And William Gaylord, Bill Gaylord, you're going to be our first recipient. And quite honestly, as far as I'm concerned, it should be Citizen of the Half Century. And you'll hear more about that here as I discuss this. And Kathy Jimino and Bill and Carol, I'd love to have you down in the well here, the chambers. Legislator-elect Pateri, if you'd like to join us, you may. If not, it's fine. There's members of the Gaylord family here as well. You folks are not usually that bashful, so. I got to tell you, this is quite an honor. It really is. And you're going to hear about the things that this gentleman has accomplished over his time here in Rensselaer County, town of Hoosick. Whereas this resolution was filed with the Rensselaer County Legislature by the Rensselaer County Executive. Again, it's a collaborative effort. That's something we're starting. Whereas Rensselaer County would not be the great place it is today without the great people who do day to day and are making a difference in our communities. And whereas it is consistent with the duty of this legislative body and the Rensselaer County Executive to recognize the contributions and achievements of our citizens. And we acknowledge you with profound respect and admiration, a man who has provided and continues to provide extraordinary and exemplary community service. Whereas William Bill Gaylord was born in New York City, New York, and settled in the village of Hoosick in 1965, and now resides in the town of Hoosick, just outside the village, with his wife Carol. Bill is the father of 3, grandfather of 5, recently became a great-grandfather. And whereas William Bill Gaylord was retired band teacher from the Hoosick Falls Central School. He served as the community band instructor for the Hoosick Falls Community Band for over 50 years. Is the president of the town of Hoosick Lions Club, wherein he has also served as the band conductor of the New York State and assists with the home delivery of food to less fortunate, as well as being an organist at the noontime concerts at Proctor's, playing the theater organ Goldie. And whereas in 2009, Bill was honored with the prestigious Melvin Rhodes Fellowship, the highest honor that can be presented to a lion, being honored for his selflessness and his astronomical commitment to community and public service. And whereas Bill has volunteered with the Hoosick Rescue Squad for 50 years, was certified as an EMT in New York State in 1968, and became a national registered EMT in 1982. His EMT number being so low that his colleagues joked that he was considered a dinosaur. Bill enjoys working with the youth in junior programs about medical safety and teaching them not to be afraid of an ambulance or medical personnel during Safety Week. And whereas Bill is an instructor for the American Heart Association, National Safety Council, and in the past, an EMT and American Red Cross instructor. As well, Bill and PR at the local businesses and community members in the town of Hoosick. And whereas Bill is known for his sense of humor and is always ready with a joke or two, bringing a smile to faces of many. Now there be it resolved that the Rensselaer County Legislature and Rensselaer County Executive do hereby declare William Gaylord as Rensselaer County citizen for the month of November 2017, fully confident that his contributions to our community will serve as a legacy, there's no question, a legacy for all. And be it further resolved that we are going to give these suitably engrossed resolutions to you and your family. Kathy, I know you want to say a few words.
Thank you, Chairman. As Stan mentioned, this is something that we thought to start, and it didn't take long for both of us to agree on who should be the first person that we recognize as Citizen of the Month. When we were putting together the resolution, it was pretty amazing, all of what we were reading about you. And of course, we've seen him everywhere in Hoosick and Hoosick Falls at every event. But to see it all in black and white, I thought to myself, this man must never sleep. But it is an amazing story, if you will, of what you have contributed to your community. Truly amazing. And I can't think of one thing being more outstanding than the other, yet I do have to say, when I was most recently up there for the September 11th commemorative ceremony in the park, and we had the community band behind us playing all of those beautiful patriotic songs. It was just so moving and so touching, and I hope that you appreciate the impact that you have on people that live in the village, that live in the town, that live in the county and beyond, because it makes a mark on everyone whose path you cross in a very positive way. And so we're very delighted this evening to be able to recognize you as our first Citizen of the Month. And in addition to what Chairman Brownell has, I also have a certificate of congratulations to present to you. And we do these types of things to recognize the individual and thank the individual, but also to hold you out as a role model to others, so that others will see the difference that they can make in their community. And your contributions in so many areas will inspire a lot of people, I'm sure. So congratulations, Bill. I think we should also thank Bill's family, because with all he does, I don't think they ever see him. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You got to be able to tell a joke.
You must have a joke.
Put you on the spot, Bill.
April showers bring May flowers. What do Mayflowers bring? Pilgrims. I owe all that. People say, how do you do what you do? I said, well, my wife raised the kids and I did the rest of this stuff. It's humbling. And this is I don't know where I get all that information from, but probably my file home somewhere. But it's been, we were just saying up in the back there, they're honoring a lot of people who are no longer with us. I wonder if that's a hint or something. Anyway, I thank the legislature, and Stan went to Hoosick Falls Central. I remember him back then, and he's come a long way, and I appreciate. And thank you to everybody here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So another thing that I don't think was mentioned, also, he used to drive, I think, on weekends for Yankee Trails in summertime, and started out with Greyhound. So this.
And I told the children 1 year, because when he was driving for Greyhound, that Christmas was not until the 26th, because that's when he'd be home. So.
Thank you for your service. Thank you to all. You all have been patient with us. There's been a lot of resolutions, a lot of recognition tonight. We're not done. I know you 4-Hers are back there still waiting. I hope you don't have too much homework tonight, and I apologize for that. Resolution designating the week of October 1st through the 7th, 2017 is Cornell Cooperative Extension Week and National 4-H Week. Presentation by Legislator Wysocki, Harrington. Any else that would like to join?
Like Stan said, a resolution designating the week of October 1st to the 7th as 2017 as Cornell Cooperative Extension Week and National 4-H Week. Whereas Cornell Cooperative Extension Association of Rensselaer County, since the Rensselaer legislative action established a Rensselaer County Farm Bureau in April of 1917, which later became the Cooperative Extension, continues to enable people to improve their lives and communities through partnerships that put experiences and research knowledge to work. And whereas Cornell Cooperative Extension System is a viable partnership between federal, state, and county governments, educational outreach of Cornell University's knowledge and research, as well as youth, volunteers, staff, and whereas in New York State, nearly 500 extension educators partner with over 90,000 volunteers to assist more than 6 million individuals, families, and communities, and business people in New York State, and 12 extension educators partner with over 300 volunteers in Rensselaer County every year. And whereas 4-H youth development has served 1 of every 8 youth in New York State. It recognizes as the best future of agriculture in New York State and continues to provide meaningful youth development experiences for over 3,000 school students in special interest, day camps, and enrichment programs. 30 community clubs and over 900 4-H and youth members, and 169 adult volunteers in Rensselaer County. And whereas Cornell Cooperative Extension, through the 4-H Youth Development Program, invests in the state's future by creating opportunities for youth to grow into the future of agriculture in New York State and Rensselaer County, develop their personal leadership skills, contribute to their communities, and strengthen their science and technology abilities. And whereas Cornell Cooperative Extension and Rensselaer County's agriculture and food systems educational programs contribute to empowering individuals and enterprise in agriculture and the food systems to thrive by maintaining a strong rural community, advancing a clean, healthy, and abundant local food supply, supported a thriving New York State community, whereas Cornell Cooperative Extension will continue to provide high-quality, innovative educational programs, products that help New Yorkers build strong, vibrant communities, and whereas Cornell Cooperative Extension has reached over 100 years anniversary of working in our communities throughout the county to improve the health and quality of life of our residents, supporting and strengthening agriculture and horticulture endeavors, and providing relevant and meaningful programs for our youth. Cornell Cooperative Extension is excited to enter the second century of service to the residents of Rensselaer County aiming to meet every challenge and needs of our county, where Cornell Cooperative Extension of Rensselaer County will continue to be active in such programs as such Schaghticoke Fair, farm business management, agronomy, horticulture, dairy, livestock, vegetable and fruit production, childhood lead poisoning prevention, nutrition education, excuse me, consumer education, youth leadership. Now therefore it be resolved that the Rensselaer County Legislature recognize 100 years of outstanding service to the Rensselaer County community and hereby designate the week of October 1st through the 7th, 2017 as Cornell Cooperative Extension Week and National 4-H Week in Rensselaer County. Be it further resolved that the clerk of the legislature transmit this engrossed copy of the resolution to the executive director of the Rensselaer County Cornell Cooperative Extension. I believe that's Bernie.
Thank you,
There you
Jeff.
go.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Would you like to say something, Bernie?
Honestly, we are very much a grassroots organization, and at this point, I'm going to ask our board president, Don Maurer, to come forward. We're going to be very cognizant of the time, and you've all been sitting here a while. So we do have a little process with just a few people saying a few things. Thank you, and thank you so much. And I do appreciate the support that you have provided Cornell Cooperative Extension over the years. Thank you so much.
Thank you for this honor. And one of the things about celebrating our centennial was we got a chance to look back over the history of what we have done in the past 100 years. And really, the commitment to the community hasn't changed. Our need and desire to educate our community and our clients hasn't changed. Some of the tools have. But what we're looking for is the next 100 years and the continued commitment. And we thank the legislature for their continued support. And I would like to remind the legislature that next month you are going to be voting on a resolution to seek full funding for County Law 242, which will bring more money into the program at no cost to the county. So I hope that you can act favorably on getting the fully funded County Law 242. It sounds like something Kathy would say about unfunded mandates. It might be time to turn that around. Thank you very much.
Would anybody else like to say anything? Kenny? Or... Go ahead.
So, hi, I'm Christina. I've been in 4-H for 7 years, and it's been one of the most amazing experiences for me. Through 4-H, I've learned teamwork and leadership skills, and I've had the amazing opportunity to go to Cornell University multiple times throughout those 7 years, as well as get to experience volunteer service projects, and I have also gotten to work with multiple farm animals, and it's gotten to the point where if I get any more, my parents might need to buy a farm. They won't like that. But it's honestly been one of the best experiences, and I can't wait to see where it goes in the future. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Emma Fountain, and I have been in 4-H for 7 years. 4-H and Cornell Cooperative Extension has helped me become the person I am today. It has taught me how to be a leader and a responsible adult. It has provided me with the opportunities to travel to Arizona, Alaska, and Washington, D.C. 4-H has helped me form lifelong friendships with people all over New York State. I would not have had these amazing, life-changing experiences without the support of 4-H, Cornell Cooperative Extension, and the Rensselaer County Legislature.
My name is Ariel, and I've been in 4-H for maybe about like a year and a half. 4-H has had a huge impact on my life. It has helped me to finally have a voice for my community and also to help my community. Like the 4-H's, I'll use my head to clearly think through situations, my heart to help others, my hands for my community, and also my help to help my community. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Brigham Loeb. I've been in 4-H for going on 12 years now, and 4-H has really helped me get my foot in the door for what I really want to do for a career path. And it's allowed me to visit colleges like SUNY Cobleskill and Cornell and really figure out what I want to do with my life. And it's helped me grow throughout the years that I've shown horses and livestock in 4-H. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Amanda Thrasher. I've been in 4-H for 7 years now. Looking back on my 7 years, I would never have known if I would stand up in front of all you people without 4-H. Cornell Cooperative does an amazing job with 4-H. It's just, there are no words to describe this feeling because I am so content with this community. I look forward to all these meetings with all these lovely people because I know that I belong with them and they always help me, they always support me with everything I do. And I just, it's such a great feeling to know that I am with this community. Thank you.
Is that everybody now? Kenny? Being a farmer, you can't turn it down. Yeah.
No, I want to congratulate Cooperative Extension for 100 years. And I know Phil Danaher is going to say I was there when it was formed. I wasn't there when it was formed, but I joined 4-H 67 years ago in 1950. So I put a good many years in 4-H actually as a member. And then I think I took, is it Don's job? I took John's job probably about 50 years ago in the 60s. So I've been acquainted with 4-H and Cooperative Extension for a number of years and still am as a dairy farmer. So I want to say congratulations and we'll see you again next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations again, Cooperative Extension, you 4-Hers. Eloquent public speakers already. Nicely done. Every month we are recognizing living veterans, living legislators too. Resolution honoring Rensselaer County Veterans Honorable Kenneth H. Harrington. This month we are going to honor you. We passed this back in July, and tonight is your month. Great. Ken's got some family members here. Wonderful. It's a program we started this year in the month of May, Memorial Day. I know that's to honor our deceased veterans, typically that month. Veterans Day is to honor our current members of the military. But we in Rensselaer County, we think of veterans every day. And tonight it's a great honor, it really is, to recognize the service to this country that Ken H. Harrington did on behalf of all of us, and to make our life what it is today here in this country. So Rensselaer County owes a great debt to the men and women of their loyal armed services who so bravely stand ready to preserve our American heritage. And whereas some have called overseas, leaving their families and the security of their homes to protect our everyday way of life, our freedom, and bring peace and unity to those in need. And whereas Kenneth A. Charrington, Ken, graduated from Cornell University on June 11th, 1962, with a degree in economics, and simultaneously, through the ROTC program, was commissioned a second lieutenant in the United States Army Reserve. And where after a 4-month employment with the Economics Department of Cornell, Ken reported for 15 weeks of quartermaster training in Fort Lee, Virginia, graduating first in his class. And whereas Ken was assigned to the COMZ Europe, and upon deployment became the post quartermaster S4 officer of the United States Army, Aircraft Field Maintenance and Avionics Center, APO 325, Brienne-le-Château, France. What'd I do? Is that pretty good? And whereas on 13th of April 1964, Ken was promoted to the first lieutenant and also became company commander, headquarters company, United States Army FMAC. And whereas upon returning to the United States, Ken transferred to the United States Army National Guard, 1st Battalion, 205th Armor, and on the 10th of June, 1967, he was promoted to the rank of captain. Ken received letters of commendations from his superior officers for the outstanding leadership he displayed during his active duty time at COMZ Europe. And whereas in 1973, Captain Kenneth A. Charrington was honorably discharged from the service to spend more time with his family farm. And that he did. That he does. Therefore, it resolved that this legislative body acknowledge the great service, exemplary service of Kenneth A. Charrington to this country. As we say many times at the honorable deceased veteran ceremonies, these folks go off overseas at a time when they're 18, 19, 20 years old, don't even know, never been out of probably Rensselaer County before. When they come back, they don't go back on what they've done. They just go back and get into the job and get to work. And that's what Ken did. And that's what we hear a lot about these veterans who come back and look what they've done and make our communities what they are today. Just look at what Ken has done. He's shown leadership back when he was a young man. He's showing leadership now. Over the years, Ken is a leader. And tonight we are here to most humbly recognize your service to this country. And thank you for your service. It's just coming off of Veterans Day weekend here. And what an appropriate time to recognize Ken Harrington on your service. Any other legislator like to say something?
I guess I can't get away without saying something here. I first met Ken is when he came into the National Guard as a first lieutenant, and we were in the same unit together, and I never thought we'd be into politics together. You must be working your son real hard, though. He's got more gray hair than you have, but at least he's got still hair. So anyway, I want to congratulate you on all your years of service, Ken, and I know you wish you had the 20 years in until you get that check every month, but but I know the farm called you, and your dad wanted you out to work the farm. That's why you got out. Because I know you told me that you really liked the service, and it was close to making a career out of it, even on active duty. So congratulations again.
Thank you. Thanks. My turn? Yeah, I had a big spiel and I had a long story, but I know the hour's getting a little late. This is my son, Jason. I just take them in order here. This is my daughter, Jessica. Jessica's daughter, Jady, and Jason's daughter, Alexa. The two kids are 13 years old now. I had a big spiel, but I would like to say, I served during the Vietnam era, but I went in the service in 1962, and I came off active duty in 1964. I did join the Guard, so I was in the Vietnam era, but not during any fighting was going on, and we were over there in Vietnam in an advisory capacity. So they didn't want to send any young lieutenants over there advising anybody what to do because we didn't have the experience. So I was one of 60 in my class, and I think I was the only one that got to go overseas from that class. And they sent me to Paris to run a commissary in Paris for all the high-ranking officers and their wives. But I had volunteered to go to jump school, and I kind of screwed up my orders because then I found out I was going to go to Paris, and everybody told me, come on, guy, you ought to go to Paris first. So I had them revoke the orders and send me to Paris. I got the job done, and I got into Paris, and they looked at me. I went to Hotel Litry where they put us all up, and they looked at me, and they looked at my record, and they said, we don't have any place for you here. Somehow you got replaced by someone else. And I said, oh, I know what happened. I kind of messed that up when I volunteered to go to jump school but didn't go. So then we said, well, we're going to send you back to the United States and figure out what we're going to do with you when you get back there. So they said, it's going to take some while to cut some orders. And I'm sorry for taking the time, but I got to go through this. He said, we're going to keep you here for a while till we cut your new orders. Just report in here every morning downstairs and we'll tell you what's up. So I was there for about 3 days and I went down and the guy said to me, the fellow there said, we got a real problem because we've got the orders cut, but we just looked and you have a car on a ship headed this way, or it's going to be headed this way, and we can't get this car unloaded off the ship. So your car's going to be in Europe, and if we send you back, you're going to be in the United States. So we're even going to be in a bigger predicament. So we're going to try to find something for you to do while you're in Europe, because your car's coming. So a couple days went by and they called me back in downstairs and they said, listen, we found out that a place in Brienne-le-Château is looking for a quartermaster officer, but you really don't have the rank because they're looking for a major. But I guess they don't have anybody down there as a quartermaster officer, so we're going to send you down there on temporary duty till they get what they want. And we're going to leave you down there until they do, and then we're going to figure out what we're going to do with you after that. So they put me on a train and sent me down there. I got down there and I reported in to the post commander, and he said, well, you got the right insignias on your lapel, but he said you got the wrong rank on your shoulder. He said, you're really not what I'm looking for, but I guess you're going to have to do. So he says, your office is down the hall around the corner, and he says, you're going to be the acting post S4 officer, and he says, you'll be that until we replace you. So he says, but you're going to have a couple of surprises. You're going to have a couple of benefits that a second lieutenant probably never gets. So I go down there, and he said, in about 15 minutes, you'll find out. So I get down there, and in comes this PFC, and he said, listen, reported in, saluted. He said, I'm your duty driver. And I said, my duty driver? He said, yeah, the S4 officer gets a duty driver. The car's right outside. So I had a Ford Fairlane and a driver, and I'm a second lieutenant. Now I had a post full of higher ranking officers, but all of those fellows, most all those fellows were pilots because they were there. We had a courier service. They ran all over Europe. They flew all over Europe. And we had test pilots. We had a lot of test pilots there because we fixed helicopters and small fixed wings. We had avionics and the 582nd to do the maintenance. So I had a car and a driver, and I'm the lowest ranking officer on post, but I'm in headquarters. So that entitles me to all the, well, we used to call them the shit jobs, right? I get all the jobs that nobody wants, but I had a title and a driver. So I had a real good sergeant, and my uncle, who was in the military, said, listen to the sergeant for the first 2 months and keep your mouth shut. So I did just that. And about 2 months into my tour of duty there, I got called in again, and the post commander says, he said, I understand you were in the commissary, in commissary school and did real well. So he said, building 4 down there is vacant. He said, I want you to build I want you to put together a commissary. He said, I know you can do it because you went to school for it. So being in supply, I was pretty fortunate, and we had helicopters flying around the place. So within a month and a half, I probably scrounged up enough equipment, freezers and chopping blocks and cash registers to open a commissary. So we opened a commissary, and after that he called me in and he said, I want a laundry and dry cleaning center. He says we have to send our stuff to Verdun or send people out to do their own laundry. That was a little more difficult because that's a lot of specialized equipment. But I did put together a laundry and dry cleaning pickup point in one of the buildings, and we collected up everybody's laundry Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and including the dependents. And we shipped that laundry up on Monday, Tuesday, the next following morning up to Verdun. So then on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we brought back all their clean clothes, and we sent all the dirty ones up. So it worked out real well. And 6 months prior to my leaving, our company commander went to school or something else, went on leave, and I got called in again and he said, well, you're the company headquarters executive officer. We're going to make you the company commander for the rest of the time till this guy gets back. So I wound up being headquarters company commander, and when I got ready to leave there, they asked me if I wouldn't re-enlist, because I had put my entire time there, and they never did replace me. I put my entire time there, and they asked me to re-enlist, and they said, if you re-enlist, we're going to work to get you, we can get you an RA commission instead of a reserve commission, and we're going to send you back to school, and you'll be a captain within a year, we can guarantee. But my dad, on the other hand, sent me off to Cornell and the school and counted on me coming home, and I like the farm also, so I was kind of torn between the two things I wanted to do, and I felt I owe it to my family to come back. I hadn't been home for 1.5 years, so I came back. I got out, and I said, if I get out, I can always get back in, because they're going to be looking for officers, I guess, because all the World War II officers were retiring. I mean, they had 20 years in, and Vietnam was coming along in 1965. We went full force, and the guys just got out. They said, we got 20 in, we're not going to do that. So it was a heck of a time to stay in, and I really did want to stay in. I liked it really well, but I thought I had an obligation to my dad, so I got out. But I want to tell you, so I never really did a lot for the military. The military did a hell of a lot for me. You know, as a farm kid, that really did okay in grade school and high school. I was lucky I got into a program in Cornell, and they sent me out there, and I got a good education. But the military, I never played sports, and I never really excelled. And my dad said, you know, I got thinking, you know, I used to get harassed in school, and I was a fat little kid besides that. And I always got picked on in grade school and high school. And Dad said to me, you know, I told him one time, I said, you know, this ain't really great being this city school district. And Dad said, you know, he said, you ever realize how when we put a new cow out with the old cows, they chase her around for quite a while, and then things settle down. And he said, when we put new chickens in with old chickens, they fight for about 2 or 3 days, and then things settle down. And he said, that's a pecking order. And he said, you're not too far up on the pecking order, probably in school 18. But he said, you just got to tough it out. He said, you'll get there one day. And he said, when you do, you'll be farther up in the pecking order. So when I got in ROTC, I said, I put that uniform on, and I said, this is my chance to move up the pecking order. And I strive to do that. I weighed 210 pounds when I went to college. I got out of basic training between my 3rd and 4th year, and I weighed 144. Uncle Sam, Cornell, climbing up and down those hills took off quite a bit of it. But those last 8 weeks that I spent in basic training, Uncle Sam took off another 21 pounds. So, and I moved up the pecking order, I tell you. I felt really great. And for 2 years, or for a year and a half when I was in Europe, I had a car and a driver. I felt a little awkward, so as soon as we got off post, I got in the front seat instead of the back. I didn't feel any better than the guy who was driving. We were all there to do a job. I want to thank you for this. I lost a lot of the guys that I served with because they were pilots, and they went on to serve in Vietnam. And some of them were part of those 58,000 people we lost. And, you know, when I talk about the service, that's the only thing I really think about. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you for your service to this great country.
There's a true example right there. We welcome them home. And that's why we honor our living veterans. And what better time right now to capture that on camera, which we just did, of that story that he just told. How important that is. Maybe not today, but in the future, of his service to our country.
Now you all know why he is the way he is.
Jason just said, now you know how he is, so. The way he is.
I'm trying to visualize him 210 pounds.